Them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud down, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't the political, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo.
Hello there. Please let me know if this video is lagging somehow and if the audio is pretty much not out. Just before we get fully into it, I've been having some technical issues just before we started.
Glory Facebook, glory YouTube.
Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you very much. So share the broadcast, invite your friends, right? Mayegun is here. I've got so much for you tonight.
Mayegun diary political. Godfatherism.
Thank you.
Brother, now one day working, Governor, Gent. I got a chukwa. Not only home with chukwa, what you could hear, Maria. Oh, yeah, it means you don't want to do anything for God. Yeah, but I won't get it.
Father, even put the straight, as a nigga, magazine project. I want to know about the project.
Okay, come to know Jokweta. My name here have a political statement.
Father, my mother made a political statement. Only of us here and I'm say my P2B have never promised things and failed. I'm a fundamental Catholic. Even when I couldn't know can me. What am I got?
You can promise say Mary here in Anambra. Praise the Lord. In your capacity and what God has done for you, Governor. Get money, okay, get money, get into here. God hates stinginess. I'm otherwise, again, Atiku will fail. Oh, back a paint to go, but on all time back. Get it. You can save your political destiny. 2019, election. Una mangwata di kusiga. Praise the living God. Ihe ga-eme nwanne nwoke na-eyi nwoke abịa baza ọma nwa ma ọjị. Geenụ ntị ama m ihe m na-akọ. Chere biko geenụ ntị geenụ ntị.
Facebook. That's one. Here is another one.
Bishop supporting Buhari. If you were here when we are speaking to Peter Obi representing Atiku, how I wish you were here. I know that Obi went out here almost disgraced. So supporting Buhari is almost becoming a curse. It's no longer a blessing. We won't tell you.
Thank you so much for joining me. People have been tearing Mbaka. They have been tearing him apart since yesterday. And why are they doing that to Mbaka? It was because even after his apology, after that statement in 2019, Mbaka still went ahead and said this yesterday. No joke.
Wahala. Oh, wow.
At the end of that.
So good evening to you all once again. So let's take this in parts. Okay. A lot is going on right now, and a lot is still going to happen in the course of this their electoral charade. But because, you know, whatever happens, we are all going to be the sharer in most of what their decision is going to bring anyway. So, yeah, today Atiku announced that the governor of Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa, will become his vice president, his own running mate. So it is going to be Atiku Okowa. Okowa. Anyway, that's for PDP. And from the intel, they said that Atiku was hunting and gunning for an Igbo vice president. In fact, some people felt like Peter Obi going to Labour Party was going to be temporary until this Sorosoke, this mob, they're everywhere. Oh boy, you watch your matter. After that statement of Mbaka last night, the mob, they decided that, you know, first, they have, majority of them have unfollowed him, and he's already started losing. Many people who are actually like following him on social media. I don't know if he's on social media. Father Mbaka has been hearing the story of his life and everything. So what they are saying now is that even though maybe Atiku was going to still convince Peter Obi to come back to PDP and be his vice president, there were actually people who believed that until last 2 weeks. So they said that Peter Obi movement, as they call it now, is even bigger than Peter Obi himself. They are saying this Sorosoke, they are watching me right now anyway. So the battle now is between the Lagos Abobakus for Tifnumbu and then the Atikulutas of Atiku. And then you are going to see the obedient that some of you are already calling the obedient. So the battle is pretty much like, you know, the young people who have politicized their own, you know, their pain and disagreement with the system versus PDP APC. So Peter Obi was not available for Atiku. True or false? Yes or no? I don't know. They said that even if Peter Obi says he's no longer contesting, they will arrest him. These guys, that's how much. And because of this kind of cult followership that Peter Obi has generated, it has also generated many, many enemies too. Well, A lot of, something that unites PDP and APC right now is when they are going after Peter Obi. So they say Peter Obi's movement is bigger than Peter Obi himself. If he should change his mind, he will be arrested by them. So Atiku couldn't go to him anymore. They said that Atiku wanted to call on Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. True or false? Many names were flying around anyway. But the purpose then was that they were going to go and pick somebody from Igbo land until the warning came. Remember that the Northern Nigeria Islamic scholars who have been weaponizing the poverty in Northern Nigeria, the religion, the religion manipulation in Northern Nigeria, who have been using all of this to their advantage, and most importantly, for political purposes. They have already been making statements that if the power is going to go back to Southern Nigeria for APC, Ejike, who is choosing a Southerner, definitely they must choose somebody who is a real Muslim. That's what they said, a real Muslim from Northern Nigeria. That's what they said. I don't know whether there are fake Muslims or real, but that's what they said, real Muslims. A fanatic, you know what I mean? That is person that should go with Tinubu. So Muslim ticket, they don't give a damn about that. It's about power, right? Or maybe not to you in Southern Nigeria. Then they send another warning to Atiku. Well, maybe for Atiku to know. Don't bring any Nyamiri. That's what they said. This cleric in Northern Nigeria, they said, don't bring Nyamiri. Nyamiri is, they were referring, that's a slur language. It's like a racist word against the Igbos in Northern Nigeria. Yeah. They said it, they were preaching it in their mosque as we speak. If any candidate should bring any Igbo man to Northern Nigeria, he should forget it. And you know, Atiku is desperate. Now, this is the trick they want to play. Okowa, Ifeanyi, Okowa, Delta State, which is partly Biafra, partly Oduduwa Republic. Yes, Delta State. So, which then put in their own book, Atiku's book, Okowa is an Igbo man. At the same time, he's from South, the one they created politically. Part of how they have managed to balkanize Nigeria. You may not know these power brokers, these northern rogues who have held us down for this long. Every state they give to you is called balkanization. They have already divided you where they want you to be. They put you where they want you to be. Nobody was consulted before they created any state for you. No referendum was conducted before any of these states were, they were like military promulgation. They just pronounced them. So that's their own way of putting everybody where they belong. But yeah, Delta State, the place they call Delta State today, is partly Biafra and partly Oduduwa Republic. So if Ifeanyi comes from the middle with Ifeanyi and Okowa, I mean, they can tell them in Northern Nigeria that he is not an Igbo man. But when they come down Southern Nigeria, they can talk to you in Yoruba land. Atiku can say, do you know that Warri? Do you know that this place? Do you know that place in Delta State used to be partly Oduduwa Republic? Therefore, is your son. Oh, all of the Biafrans with Okowa, Biafra is going to come. So that's the trick they put in that game anyway. But it doesn't really matter, just so you know. So people are already tearing that apart, and Ejike is not happy. Number one, he never, ever, ever imagined that he will be betrayed at the last minute. That he won't be the candidate. Honestly speaking, he was so confident that he ruled himself out completely from anything that has to do with vice presidency. But look at all the old permutation. That's how they are permutating. That's how many of you are going to also take side without understanding what you are agreeing to. As for Tinubu, that one don't enter kosher already. You know, the only confidence that Tinubu and camp they have is this. They are not interested in any election. Go and get PVC. Go and get this. That's your problem. Go and get anything you want to get. They are not interested. And that is why they believe that as long as the northern Nigeria is carried along, yeah, Tinubu can go to bed, even if he's going to be in this hospital bed in London, Germany, or America, when you are queuing behind and voting for Peter Obi, as many of you are determining to do now. It doesn't really matter. They are not interested in election. But as we speak, the deadline for submission of the names of your vice or running mates for all candidates to presidential, governorship, everywhere is going to be tomorrow. That deadline is tomorrow. So do you know what happened? From the INEC register right now, it is Tinubu and Bello Masari. So the planner is to put Masari there temporarily, so that after the deadline, INEC will allow you to swap names. Do you understand that now? But I don't know if your 2022 Electoral Act allows that anyway. Or they have been putting the name of Masari there until tomorrow, when they will change it to whoever they want to change it to. But it's going to be Muslim tickets. That is their own winning strategy. But in the midst of it, yeah, they said, if they feels like, okay, now that Atiku has chosen somebody, right? Maybe they can now choose a probable, I don't know, a Christian or whatever. But as we speak right now, in the INEC register, it is Tinubu and Bello Masaku of Katsina, the governor of Bokwari State. Now, that is Muslim ticket there. If anything changes, that will be tomorrow evening or maybe this night. But the names of those they are giving to Tinubu as we speak from their own sources. So Shetima, the former governor of Borno State, the one that was in charge of the kidnapping of Chibok girls, you remember? Yeah, the one that came to prominence because of Chibok girls. Is on the queue. They are putting on the line as well. In fact, they said that all of the northern governors are interested in becoming Tinubu's vice president. And among them, except for Lalong of Plateau State. That's the only one there that is probably a Christian. Others are just Muslims, Fulani Muslims, and the rest of that. So, call it a setup. I don't know. But coming to Peter Obi, you see, we have been saying something before. We said there are some. I actually like the fact that I started with Atiku, his choice. Tinubu will be choice. And why? There are messages already flying in northern Nigeria. One of the things that those who are now obedient in northern Nigeria, that they will have to first show that indeed they are in the same ship with you, is to first douse the tension of, or let me say, dispel the general message and general impression that Peter Obi is an Igbo man, even though if he is telling them that he is coming as a Nigerian to come and fix Nigeria and the rest of that. So while Peter Obi was away to Egypt, he said he want to go and study how Egypt managed to work out their own electricity generation, this and that. Oh boy, this issue of going to Egypt has caused so much kata. And you see this Obi movement, every one of them, they are not taking prisoners. And in their book, Peter Obi can never be wrong. And trust me, many of them are saying that, which is true, by the way, Peter Obi did not come out to say he wants to be president, by the way. He never came out to say he wants to be president. People compelled him. This Sorosuke, all these people that are not going to be taking it easy with you, they will tell you, they will feed on you, and the rest of that, it is better, right? So just somehow be prepared if you want to take on them. Seriously. He didn't ask them to be president. He didn't say he wanted to be. For some of us who have been following it, by the way. Now, these Sorosuke people said, Peter Obi, come and run. Peter Obi will buy you from. Peter Obi will do this and that. Then I remember when he said, after listening to your request and all that stuff, I have decided to contest. in PDP. So when PDP said it's never going to win it because it's about money, it's about who can pay more. These Sorosoke people, they said, number one, they are ready to raise over 10 billion naira for him. If it is about, spreading his message all over the place, they will do that. But again, he should never give a shishi, which he said he never would give. So they told him to leave PDP. And since they told him to leave and he left, to this day, even Labour Party that he went to, from obscurity from 5,000 votes in 2019, as you are watching this video right now, if the system allows you to actually cast down your PVC, these young people believe that they have 20 million votes ready for Peter Obi. So that is now what has now pitted Peter Obi generally and his movement against the almighty PDP, almighty APC. And as we all know, the voting never starts yet. But Peter Obi was in Egypt to the admiration of his own supporters. And he sent this out. Just, look at it. Power generation in Egypt. There's some successful stories from Egypt lately that honestly, you would believe that if to say, for example, before I play you this, in Egypt, I may not know much about Egypt, but the Egyptians, I don't think they have over 200 ethnic nationalities in Egypt. I don't think so. I don't think they speak over 500 languages in Egypt. I don't think so. And at the same time, I don't think, what works in Egypt will work in Nigeria according to how Peter Obi is going to make you feel. The reason why it won't work is that, you see, Egypt model can work in any part of Nigeria if they allow each part of Nigeria to function based on their own capacity and not like incapacitate some other place, reduce and then, dwarf their development intentionally because they have to remain at par with the intentionally underdeveloped northern Nigeria. So when you know that they intentionally underdeveloped every part of Nigeria, including your education, your healthcare, your infrastructure, everything that is wrong with Nigeria, just believe that they are intentionally put in place because according to them, the southern Nigeria will be moving too fast if they are allowed to be on their own, especially educationally and then other things. So they intentionally crippled us. So idea of a Peter Obi in a complex Nigeria would only remain a dream. But it's good to see, to the admiration of his own supporters, he went to see a plant in Egypt that they built within 2 years that is generating over 4,000 megawatts of electricity. Really? This is the clip.
And simplifying, module 6 is running the spot also. Module 40 is a sun pod.
You see the load in this
The screen, the center screen. Total load, yeah. 1,900. Also 4,800.
The load is
This screen show us all 4 modules. This module 10, module 20, module 30, 40. Module 40 all standard, yes. Most of unit 20, we have 50% is working with steam turbine, and we have another gas turbine standby. Module 10 and the module 30 is full operation. So the total now. Which one? Sorry?
The screen.
This screen.
Yeah.
Excuse me, yes. When the steam turbine exceeds, the efficiency is also bigger than 60.
61.5. The efficiency of as compared to 61.5.
And note we're in summer, so the use of AC is high now. Right now it's nearly 10 o'clock. The AC it's very hot.
At the peak load.
So usually you're not even using 2,000.
So now completing with some more about.
So we are in minimum load in module 3920. The peak load near 4 p.m. Will be base load for GTs and steam turbine running with ACC, and this is good to provide some water. Provide a lot of water. We are running with cooling steam to condensate the steam with air, just fans, using fans. Each ACC consists of 42 fans, and we are running with natural gas with 5 compressors, 5 gas compressor, 1 for each module and 1 is standby. That's an overview. If you're interested in more details,
Can you answer how many people you supply this to the national grid? That's national grid.
you are connected to national grid.
If this 2000, it says it's
Module 60 is running as full also. Module 40 is a standby.
So that was what he went to see, to understudy, he said, just to see how they put them together, how they work, and the rest of that. But in Nigeria, you know what I mean? Number one, if you want power, seriously now, right? If you want power, you should be, if you generate electricity anywhere, right? It should be distributed to the people, the immediate communities around there, right? And it is cheaper that way than transmitting, or what do you call them? I'll call it transmitting that same generated electricity to other part of Nigeria, which is actually the reason why everything seems not to work in that place. Tinubu said he was the first person to bring in the PPP, private power project, whatever, which means that private companies coming in to invest in electricity, and his own excuse was that federal governments of Nigeria, of Obasanjo, they killed the idea. But you see, electricity is not a rocket science. The reason why you will never have it is because it is the same system that wants to give you electricity, is the same system that is denying it. They said they have electricity generated, but they don't have distribution. They have distribution a problem. How about you let everybody generate what they can generate from their own part of Nigeria, distribute it to who they want to distribute it in their own state and all that, and watch how the problems of no electricity will disappear. But again, it's good for the optics. Many of you enjoyed it. Even some of you feel like, leave Peter Obi alone, oh my, if you don't want us to unfollow you. We don't want anybody to touch our Peter Obi. I know. But the problem there is that we would never have to leave your Peter Obi alone. We love what you are doing. Some of us do. We actually do love what you are doing. Because it is like you are also pretty much like others who have chosen their own battle against what Nigeria has become. Yeah, you have decided to also pick your own battle, maybe politically. So yours might seems to be gaining the biggest, traction right now. But the bottom line is that majority of what you are going to do, they are going to be so good for the optics, as long as you continue to ignore the main obvious. So people like us are still waiting to see what the plan is, or now they promise to fix Nigeria for you. But whatever it is, you are never going to have everyone fooled by all the optics that politicians are going to throw around this moment. A lot of you are going to get so carried away with majority of you are already getting carried away with it, but it's good. But some of us know that you don't need to go to Egypt. You don't need to go to America. You don't need to go to the UK to understudy what and how to generate electricity. Seriously. But if you do it for your campaign, it's good for the optics. The first thing you ask yourself is that why is it impossible to even generate it in the first place? But again, it's good for the optics. So the Peter Obi movement, consider it the movement of the angry, young, and old Nigerians. That is why if somebody tells me, at least Mayegun, I'll be careful of these people, being careful of it is because I relate and I understand majority of your anger, majority of your rage, and I understand that finding that strength and then that finding that sort of a bit of something to hold on to, something to vent that rage through politically would have been the best idea, if not because it is Nigeria. But we all kind of feel what you feel. Seriously, we do. Some of us who have been in the trenches and asking that Nigeria should completely break up right away and save the lives of the people. You know why? Breaking up Nigeria will allow ideas like that of Peter Obi to flourish in Nigeria. Do you understand? The idea of what they said, consumption, from consumption to production. In Nigeria, the drain pipe of Nigeria is the northern Nigeria, and it is the northern Nigeria political class, the ruling class and the gatekeepers. You can't overrule them if you are fighting to keep Nigeria same. You see, keeping Nigeria same under any guise is still going to be in their interest. If you think you are fighting to win them and take your country back, as many of you are saying politically, under this arrangement, yeah, you are still going to be the loser. Make Peter Obi the president. You are still going to be the loser. You know why? Keeping Nigeria one under any arrangement is a win-win situation. It's a win-win for these northern criminals. And then any idea that has to do with Nigeria, it must be nationally kind of, put together. If Peter Obi wants to say, oh, we want to do so and so, apart from what you can hear right now, whatever they're going to tell you, he has to put it into the national scope. And the national scope of these northern criminals is what? Is feudalism, is to keep people perpetually poor. How do you keep them perpetually poor? Denying them education, denying them opportunities that will let them possibly feel like they deserve better. And that is deliberate. And that is what Nigeria is funding. As long as they are part of Nigeria, bring Peter Obi or bring Obi Peter or anybody you want to bring from anywhere. Seriously, right? Once they are getting the reality of Nigeria will settle in. And people like us believe that if you want to help Nigeria by any means at all, yeah, at least start with being honest, because you really need to let everybody handle their own affair, their own way. Those who want to develop based on the Sharia teachings, they are there. Your PVC cannot deny them that. As you are getting your PVC and thinking that a vote will make you, possibly your idea that is modern, that is developmental, that is progressive, is going to help them out of that. No, you are mistaken. And people like us know that any idea of development that you might have, or do you really think these people in your government, apart from the fact that they are looting you blind, do you really think they have no idea how to fix a country? But why would they fix a country when it is cheaper to run it down and keep people perpetually poor, and they will not ever have a chance of fighting back? That's cheaper. So to make it easier for you, what I'm saying here is this. If Nigeria remained what it was in 1960, back then, yeah, the idea of, a region coming together, putting their resources together, investing in any kind of public infrastructure like electricity, public health care, education, and all those things, including industrialization. Whatever you want to do, you can do this in parts. But as Nigeria is, yeah, you will continue to meet the roadblock. And maybe at the end of the day, the good thing that will come out of the Peter Obi movement is that you are all going to realize this soon, and you are never going to back down. And the fact that you won't back down will now bring the clash of the titans, as many of us believe that that's something is to, as they said that in the beginning, the Big Bang theory, yeah, the Big Bang, blah, and that's how the earth and the whole world, everything existed, whatever. So we believe that with your strong movement, because I can't deny it, I'm not one of those that's going to tell you that what you are doing doesn't matter. As it is right now, it has caused a serious ripples across the establishment themselves. And what did they find out? They found out that even Peter Obi himself can no longer control what is going on. Do you get that? So I like the energy. We want to see where it's going to end, but something there is that there are more to this that some of us have also seen. So I like the fact that you are channeling the energy towards that. So Peter Obi movement, and then breaking the barrier of ethno-tribalism and all of that stuff that politicians always, And the final one that I believe that somehow this generation of young people who are angry and they have the right to listen, if you see any young person that is promoting APC or PDP, they don't have any sense. Listen, we all have choice. If they say, yeah, we all have choice, we all have rights, it's a democracy, this and that. But as a young person, ask yourself, for the past 4 months now, more than 5 million of you have been at home because they locked your school. Now you are seeing the poster of APC, you are seeing the posters of PDP, and then you decided that you want to be part of that, and you choose either of them. So it's pretty much nonsensical, isn't it? So your anger, whether you are Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, because if you check their movement, you will realize that it is not different from the NSAS revolution, but it's bigger. It's like the NSAS kind of revolution that is bigger than NSAS, like about 10 times bigger, but with a political. You get what I mean now? So you see your brothers there, you see your sisters there, you see every one of them now queuing up and then shouting, Obi this, Obi that. So they believe that, number one, they will no longer be bullied by the system that said, if you don't have structure, you can't win election. Remember that. If you don't have structure, you can't win election. See, they believe that they've passed that because they are the structure. Then they said that they are also going to breach that the gap of tribal ethnic division that always play out, which is the North, the South. According to them, they are breaching that as well. Then the other one is the religion, where people can say, oh, God told me that Tinubu is going to be the next president. So these young people are no longer afraid to call out pastors and call them fake. Back in the days, you believe that you cannot criticize the men of God. You cannot criticize your Alpha, your Mullah, and the rest. But we have gotten to a generation who have become so angry, even though some believe that the anger is not, is not rightly directed or whatever, but they don't care as we speak right now. So they believe that if any pastor misjan, ego yeram. I'm talking about people are getting up in churches where, let me see if there's a particular clip just before we go to Pastor Abina na Father Ejike Mbaka. Just before we go to that, there's a church service when one of the pastors was practically just mentioning names and all of that. Then he mentioned that everybody was quiet when they mentioned Tinubu, Atiku. But the moment they mentioned Obi China, some of our people love to go, they say Obi China. Obi, oh more, you hear the crowd. Hey. So if you support as it is right now, it is Obi or nothing for these young, angry Nigerians. And that's the moment that Father Mbaka, Miss Yano. And Father Mbaka shouldn't even be prophesying. He shouldn't be giving any prophecy. You know that? I believe that Catholic churches don't give prophecy. And I don't know if many of you have noticed as well. People are demanding for Yoruba nation. People are demanding for Biafra. They are demanding that Nigeria should break up. They are demanding that they don't want PDP, they don't want APC. A lot of things are going on, even though these two criminal groups, PDP, APC, they don't feel like they are going to be moved by any of this yet. But have you noticed that most of those pastors that always kind of easily tell you who is going to be your next president, who is going to win your next election, or who is not going to win your next election, have you noticed that they have not been able to do, they've not been doing that lately? Do you know why? Because this generation of young people don't give a damn about any pastor, because majority of them are becoming politically conscious, and they can now tell when somebody is just trying to take advantage of them. So the smart pastors now in Nigeria, you know what they are doing? They are now, systematically, they are now linking up with this Peter Obi as well. You can't deny that. Just same way we have seen many of God's too, who have came out to say, yes, Biafra is going to come. You know why? Because as they say in Yoruba, in Yoruba, the voice of the people is the voice of God, Abi. So the men of God that are smart, they are managing how to present their prophecy. Biafra is going to come because they know that millions of people are going to push that if they should give them any referendum tomorrow. An ordinary pastor that is smart enough will know. But a dubious pastor will tell you Biafra is not going to come. It's not going to come now. Giving out different things to make it, but they know it. That if by any chance the conversation reaches where they say, okay, let's have a referendum, there are pastors that are smart enough and they will tailor their own prophecy towards that. There are pastors and there are also imams, even babalawos, that are smart enough, that have seen that with what they have seen in the campaign for Yoruba Nation, conversation they've had with people around them, and then the expectation of the people when it comes to this Yoruba Nation. So they themselves are smart enough. When they want to prophesy, what do? They always kind of lace it and tailor it towards this, because the people are taking position. Now look at this Peter Obi one as well. Smart pastors and the rest of them, they are now being careful to welcome politicians into their known face, to welcome them into their gathering, to be seen with them, and at the same time to watch what they say God told them or what God is telling them. Pay attention to all these things, because you see all of these things going on right now, they are all reaction to what many of us have been saying. Nigeria is gone. Prayer can't fix it. Election can't fix it. But majority who don't even know or agree that this is, let's go this way then and then, as divided as, as we are, there's something that unites us. And that thing is that this Nigeria, if you should continue this way, we will all be dead before we can even tell our stories. So people want to take action. So you see this start of the Peter Obi as well. Don't deny it. We know where it's going to end, as we have been saying. We are waiting to be shocked or surprised. But when we acknowledge the obvious and others, right, it is to tell you that what we agree or have been speaking on for years now, some people feels like it is time for them to take action. So let's see how it's going to end as well. So those pastors, those imam, those babalawos, watch them. They will tell you, as the news continue to pop out and the election begins to come closer and come closer as they are planning, if they ever held it, right? You will see some of them that will come out boldly and tell you that Peter Obi is the next president of Nigeria. Because number one, the young people who are pushing in, they said they are not pushing in. They are going to break the barrier of a tribal division. They're going to break the barrier of ethnic division. They are going to break the barrier of religious manipulation. They are going to break the barriers of class and every other thing that has made it